Welcome, everyone. This is a series called From the CEO's Desk, brought to you by Happily Ever, where our CEO, Vamse, talks about topics every week. Today, we are on episode one, talking about career options for college students beyond the obvious.
Thanks, Shruti. Hello, everyone. This is Vamsi. I'm the founder of Happily Ever. It's a matchmaking or a matrimony service focused on singles. Each week, we'll be having an episode which focuses on a particular target group of uh, people out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be our customers. That there's some knowledge that we want to share to the world from our own experiences. This topic is specifically meant for students, be it engineering or your degree or diploma. It doesn't matter as long as you're in college and within 4 to 5 years, if you hope to get a job. So uh, this episode talks about what options do you have as soon as you get out of college. And of course, most of you would think, why would I already know this, why do I need to watch this video? So here is some background. Recently I visited a few colleges in Hyderabad through friends, and I've noticed that many students are always they're just thinking one direction. Let's say I'm a computer science student. I think probably the only jobs that are available out there for me are full stack developer or software developer. And if I'm say a BCom student, probably they're not really aware of how many options out they have out there. And but in fact, that reality is, no matter what college student you are, there are roughly probably 25 job options that you have out there that you can start to explore ahead. And why is it important? Time and again, I think at least 50% of us, number one, focus on only on one particular job. And after getting that job, you don't like it. Few years or few months down the lane, you realize that, shit, this is not my cup of tea. Let me explore other options. The third problem I've noticed is, because you're not even aware that there's so many options. People don't put enough emphasis on how to even better prepare your resume or your internship experience for that roles. I'll talk about all of that, but in short, the episode is all about what are these 25 to 30 options that any college student can apply to or can aspire for while being in college, starting from his first year. And without further delay, let's start. So if you're in engineering, you have these few options. All of them have junior roles. A mobile developer it's obvious. You develop apps on a phone, be it an Android or an iOS. These are highly paid. Front-end developer is someone who designs, say, visuals, websites. It could be even on mainly on the desktop, whatever you see, like Amazon.com or say other.gov.in. So front-end developers develop the website. The backend developer is who develops things that helps the visuals. It's everything you do not see. It's all about information and data. Devops engineer is someone who runs, let's say, so I'm kind of intentionally making things sound very simple and dumb. I'll stay away from very technical words. So DevOps engineer is someone who manages servers, who once the code is developed, DevOps engineer ensures that it actually works. It actually is ready for others to consume. And they usually deal with Amazon Web Services or Google Web Services, and they're all about deployments. It's not an easy job, but it will be really fun. QA engineer ensures the quality of the product that is being developed. So whatever front and back end developers develop, someone has to test whether it's really working. What about in this specific case, will it work? So that's the focus of quality engineer. Automation engineer is someone who automates through code whatever quality engineers do. Let's say there's an Amazon website. When a user searches on a ball, you expect to see blue balls or different colors of items. Let's say maybe searches for pants. We get various kinds of pants. A quality engineer kind of manual tester. Whenever there is a code being written, he searches for pants and he expects these 10 results to show up. but an automation engineer automates it. So there's no manual person involved. So it's done automatically every day on some special machines that DevOps engineers deploy. Build and release are those who build your code that has been written for the product and then gives it to the DevOps engineer to deploy. So this includes, this has a lot of scripts, writing scripts, knowing about Jenkins and build systems. Data entry, this essentially actually is an ops item. It's, there are roles out there. Probably the simplest thing here is data entry, and you don't even need to go to college to do that often. It's converting data from one form to other form. Let's say there is some emails and phone numbers available on our website, and the company wants this to go into their database. So this is where data engineer comes in, and it's all about taking data in one form and then manually putting it into another format. A data scientist is someone who solves problems that are very it mainly falls under AI. It tries to solve problems that are non-obvious and deal with data. For example, given an image, how do I know if this person is angry or sad? He tries to code such things and make it work. So these are all the roles available for engineers. But others can also do these roles provided they have deep interest in logic. If they love logic and if they love to code, most of these roles work. But for the quality engineer and data entry, you don't even need to know coding. As long as you understand the theory well, you should be able to do that. And among them, most highly paid ones are data scientists and front-end developer, mobile developer, and back-end developer. Yep, that's it. Those are the roles we have available for engineering. Now within marketing, note that even engineers can apply to these marketing roles. Anyone can actually, most people can apply to marketing as long as if they feel they are creative, they have something special talent that they have, including writing, painting, drawing, singing, anything. If you're good at arts, then you could be good at marketing. Digital marketing is where you try to market a product or a service on the web. This often involves social media marketing, where when a product comes out, you market on Facebook, or it also involves creating posters. So there is a festival coming soon. You plan in such a way. So happy Holi from our company. So at a high level, that's what digital marketing is. Content marketing is all about creating content, whether it is written blogs or text or images, in order to help marketing. It is part of digital marketing, but it can also be offline. So it doesn't need to be always digital. So content marketing, those people who love to create content, let's say audio, video, text, images, paintings, blogs, they would be very good suited to content marketing. A copywriter is those who are very good in literature. They really love often English, and are very, very specific. And when they write it, it should feel like this is like very professionally written. So those are good roles for copywriters. Campaign marketing is where you run ads or campaigns for a very targeted users for a product on a platform. Sorry, there's too many technical words. For example, Toyota launches a car. So they run a campaign for all people. Maybe the car costs 1 crore above. So for all people on Facebook or LinkedIn, whoever have more than 1 crore salary, if you want to show them ads, that's where the campaign marketing falls under. Offline marketing is the traditional marketing, which is things are outside digital. They want to create a poster and put it on a wall. Or you want to raise a huge banner because there's an offline event happening for the company. SEO marketing is part of digital marketing. When people search you in Google, your company in Google, they ideally want to be shown on the top. And that's what SEO marketing is, the simplest way to put it. And it's just not if you pour in money, you get it. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. Video logger is for those who love to make videos, selfies, where they're continuously logging the information they're seeing. Let's say you go on a tour, you love to go on tours. Say, for example, as a company, if you have a car, let's say again Toyota, as a car that got released, a video logger probably will go to various people who are using other Toyota products or other branded products and just ask them a random fun question. For example, what is the best experience you ever had in a car, with your family in a car. They just continuously create video content with live people without much, uh, which is just dynamic, where there's nothing scripted. So these are the various roles in marketing. In fact, a lot of people, anyone as in college can apply for, and you don't need to just stick to your own particular role, your own particular field. And note that sometimes you may not be aware of it. Sometimes you have to experiment with 2, 3 of them, probably do a small internship or a project around it to see if that is your cup of tea or not. That exploration process is very important, because once you know what you like, then it's a lot easier to be really good at it, or else you're just shooting in the dark. The third function is sales. Uh, Actually, just a minute, guys. I'll come back. Ashwati, you can keep it record on.
Mummy, put on your earphones, Ma.
My dad is asking for something.
Okay, so we left off at the previous one and we haven't started sales yet, so you can just start right there.
So the next function is sales. The most common roles are these 4. Customer success marketing is all about how to make an existing customer happy. It could involve online or offline ways to interact with them and giving them the value that the company is promising. Pre-sales engineering is once the customer shows interest, how do you onboard them? How do you bring them onto the platform? It falls under pre-sales. Also, how do you even find a customer? So that falls both under marketing and sales, but this is one of the roles. Post-sales engineer is where how do you sell more stuff to the customer that is of value? Let's say a company has 5 products. So each, ideally, someone who's using product 1 can also use product 4. But how do you sell it without sounding too salesy? So that is post-sale engineering. Support engineer is where a customer is using a product, he expects certain things to work in a certain way, but they do not. Then the support engineer comes in. So support engineer is not necessarily sales, but it's kind of works very close with customer success. So those are the main sales functions. And yeah, most people who love to talk to people, who love to make customers happy, would be a good fit for sales function. It could be in any function in your college. The next function is project and product management. So sorry, there's a spelling mistake in product manager. So product manager is one who figures out what exactly to develop. What product does the customers like? Is there a digital component to it? Is there an app to it? Or is it something that they can touch? When a customer receives a package, just a minute.
So I
So
fixed
let
the
me start.
spelling mistake. Start from the very beginning of project and product management.
The next function is product and project management. A product manager is one who figures out what the customer likes, be it be digital or something you could touch. It also involves how the customer even receives it. What kind of packaging would you use? How the customer interacts with the user when getting your service. That all falls under product manager. User researcher is one who researches what users want and what problem to even solve. Because any domain they're a given user, sorry, any given domain you can think of, there could be 10 different problems that they have. You got to figure out which problem to solve. Once you figure that, you need to also figure out which solution would they like. There could be 10 solutions for the same problem. So all of that falls under user researcher, and they work very closely with product manager. Project manager is all about managing a project, and they own time. So essentially, given a task, you would ensure that it completes on time and it exists in all functions. Any task given to any employee in the company, there's usually a project manager trying to figure out, trying to ensure that it completes on time, and that's what they own. People who love to interact with a lot of people, who love a lot of discipline, are good for project management. Business analyst is one who loves to optimize on how companies do things. For example, when you're selling a product, what strategy does a company use? How do you make it better? When you're marketing something, what is the process that is used today in the company and how do you make it better? So people who are very analytical bent of mind, they are good at business analysts. So these are the core areas that have junior roles in a lot of companies in this function, project and product management. So design, people who love colors, visuals, who love to draw. This is a good function for them. UX designer is someone who designs. UX means user experience. All possible ways a user would interact with your company to get a value or a product falls under UX design. It could involve computer, websites, apps, or it could completely have nothing to do with the online digital stuff. Let's say I need to book a court to play soccer. So how exactly would the user contact the company? Would it be a phone number? Would it be a WhatsApp? All of that still falls under user experience. What would the user experience in his journey to use your product? Is UX designer. That's what they do. Often UX designers, they do digital, creating websites and apps. That's in the most common case. UX researcher, it's very similar to user researcher actually. In fact, it is the same. This is the one that falls under both design and product management. Graphic designer is someone who designs digital nice posters, illustrations, things that look beautiful and they are digital. So animator is someone who creates kind of videos where there is movement, or posters where there's moving things. For example, like right now, this was done by an animator or a graphic designer or both, because there's things that are moving. Illustrator is a specific type of graphic designer where actually what you have right now here is an illustration. So these are digitally created objects that try to mimic the real world, and they fall under illustrations. Visual effects is like things that you often see in movies, but in real companies you don't do that complex stuff. Let's say as soon as you when you're playing a video, so two people are talking to each other and you want to see some spark that happens as soon as there is maybe a product that gets introduced, or maybe there is some technique within videos that you do which looks very cool, and that falls under visual effects. Video editors are those who edit videos. Companies make lots of videos, some customer interviews or product videos, or even what we are making now is a video. So video editors edit and make it easy to absorb for other users. Those are the roles that are available for freshers in design. I think this is the last function, HR and office. Recruiting. Recruiting is all about how companies recruiting their employees. The recruiters focus on hiring. HR admin focuses on the general aspects about employee health. Health doesn't mean physical health, but their mental health. Are they happy? What do they need? Do they need laptops? Are they stuck on somewhere, or are they having issues? What do they feel about the company? All of that falls under HR admin. Office assistant is someone who manages physical office. If your company has an office, ensuring that all the lights, electricity, all the things are there at the right place, and it's been secure, safe. The office feels clean, it feels good. All of that falls under office assistants. Executive PA is one area. It's actually quite well paid. So you have CEOs, CTOs, VPs, general managers, all the executives in the company. Some of them have a PA, personal assistant. PA doesn't mean they'll just ask you to go get a coffee or something. They executive PAs manage their whole schedule so that the executives can just focus on attending meetings or just giving dictations. And so executive BA, they become arm and legs of the executive. And it's a very fast way to grow and learn a lot. And you'll be with that person often in all meetings. You'll be hearing what they're talking, how they're thinking. And often, sometimes you would be even given responsibility to manage certain things. And probably you may even have direct email access to and fro emails of the executive. Probably you will be doing their emails. And often executive PAs grow up to become chief of staff, which is one role where you manage all other CXOs. So there's a CEO, the CTO, CMO, all of them. The chief of staff usually manages projects and tasks of all members of the executive team except CEO himself. So it's a very fast way to grow. And someone who is sharp and high energy and loves to know about all kinds of functions and businesses, as executive PA is a good role. And usually you'll see a lot of women in that role than men, but there are also cases where there are men too.
Well, thank you, Vamsi, for the very informative presentation that we've had now. There are a few questions that I think that the answers would really help anybody who's watching these videos. Would you like to answer them?
Sure. Before that, just one thing I want to say. So one important thing for students to know, especially if they're first or second year, it's not hard to get internships in most of them, especially when you're much younger. And imagine from a recruiter point of view, when you reach your fourth year, when you're giving your resume, let's say someone who has a 8.5 CGPA out of 10, and he do not have any internship experience, versus someone who has say 6.5, but he has done 4 internships each of them could be just 1 month long or 2 months long. There's a high chance that the recruiters would prefer the latter, even though it has a lower CGPA. They have real industry experience and they have shown that they work hard. They tried hard to get these internships. So it's very important to have internships on your resume, starting from your first year. The more, the better. And especially in first and second year, you can experiment. Maybe you're very curious about executive PA. Then go to Internshala or some similar sites and search for a personal assistant, executive personal assistant. Maybe do an internship for a month. Maybe you will love it. Or maybe you will realize that, no, this is not mine. Maybe a few months down there, you can always do part-time internships, which is just 2-3 hours every day without waiting for your holidays to do internships. So the more you do, the better, because your internships have a very high weightage, even more than your marks and your resumes when you apply to companies. It's a very important point. Probably I should have mentioned this way ahead in the call, but I want to end the presentation with that. Go ahead, Shruti.
Okay, so the first question, what sort of additional experience, work or otherwise, do you think would benefit all aspirants no matter the sphere?
I think, let me repeat the question so people get it. What sort of experience can people have no matter what domain they are currently studying, right? I think people there are a lot of things people do in their own personal life which they underestimate and don't highlight. For example, let's say you had your brother's marriage and you handled, and it was a 1-month effort where you handled the marriage hall, you handled the flower shop guy, and you handled the expenses. So all those things that you have done that or can definitely go into a resume. Resume doesn't mean it should be industry experience. So anything where you're passionate or you worked hard or something you're proud of can definitely go into the resume. That's one thing. And secondly, there could be projects that you could do by yourself or your friends that you always dreamed of, and you put some effort towards it. Let's say you wanted to, you love to draw. Then try to create a poster for a particular festival and then put it on Instagram. Anything you could do by yourself without someone telling you that showcases your talent, be it arts or be it something you do or management. Those are all the things you can do and definitely put in a resume if you don't have internship experience. There are some roles in these slides that almost anyone can do. Number one, that means not anyone can do, that doesn't need any specific degree. Project management, data entry, marketing, customer success. Most people can try these, but if you have, but each of them needs certain skills. If you're really good at it, makes it easier. Or else these are the things you can definitely try it yourself. And at last, I want to end this with saying there are a lot of freelance projects that you could do, which is just one project, maybe 1 day long. There are a lot of websites out there. Search for freelancing in a particular role. So sales freelance, HR freelance, marketing freelance. And you will see these platforms where you could just do these things. Literally, you can spend 2-3 days, help someone, maybe even make some money, and then you can put that in your resume. So these are all the various channels where you can gain some experience in some of these fields, despite whatever education you are in right now.
Okay, next question. What helped you discover what suited you best?
It's a great question. I think I started as a engineer, a software engineer. And 4 or 5 years down the line, I was curious about project management. And then, but I couldn't get a job because it was too late. And that's why internships are so important. And then I was interested in product. Even that, it was hard to find a job. And then on a personal life, I realized that what is it, something in arts that I would want to do. And in my case, back then I was in US. So there's a platform called Craigslist where which has a lot of volunteering opportunities. So I tried various things, including this is about my hobby, trying to figure out what hobby do I like the most, because sometimes that's where your career comes out of. And so I tried hiking. I tried to go into various kinds of things I've never done before. And then I also tried to go to a play, how actors practice for a play or a drama, also to a movie set. And then I realized, because I tried multiple things over a few months, I realized probably I want to see this movie thing, what it feels like. And that's where I explored more and more. And then eventually actually ended up making movies. And it's one of the areas I'm passionate about. And within software, I realized that I have deep interest in product. So I had my own startups before. And being an entrepreneur is a very different journey. And I learned a lot from that. And I realized I do have a passion for it. And also over time, I realized that I have pain when I type on my thumbs. So I realized coding is not for me, though I like it, but I cannot type for so much, which made me later move towards management. So it was a journey. There's no simple answer to your question. But the only thing to remember is always explore and be comfortable doing things you are not comfortable before. At least try them out once. See what that world feels like. Then you will find the one that you are most passionate about. So I'm 36 right now, and I know for sure I do love making movies. I do love creating new things, and that's why an entrepreneur is one good area. I also love counseling, psychology counseling. So I have a degree, though a minor degree in suicide and crisis prevention, and I have some experience on that front too. So it took me so long to realize that these are the three areas of passion for me more than anything else in the world. But at least it's a good journey that at least I know what I like. At least in your college, you're in the initial stages. You probably don't even know what you like. That's why the more you explore and figure out what you like, the easier it is for you to do more and more internships in that area, and also get a very good job in that domain by your fourth year.
Okay. If aspirants apply to new spheres that they haven't explored so far, what should they look out for?
Yeah. So simpler. So let me rephrase the question. If you're applying to a domain where you have zero exposure on, what do you look? How do you plan for it? How do you prepare for it? I think start with YouTube. Pick a role. Let's say customer success. If you're curious what customer success is, Google for what do customer success folks do, and they will have a 5-minute video, a 1-hour video, and sometimes a series of videos about training for customer success. You should check out all the three. And then as you're going through it, you will realize whether it's your cup of tea or not. And if it is, you'll also gain a lot of knowledge. And now tweak your resume to cater to that. Probably you would have never done customer success in your life, but have you ever been in a case where you tried hard, you gave someone and tried hard to make them happy? Let's say you were helping your dad with something. Your dad probably let's say constructing a house, and after the house was built, probably he tried to sell it to someone. Maybe he used it, the house was there for 4 or 5 years, and then he sold it to someone. Let's say you helped your dad helping him sell. Probably you helped him with putting the home on multiple properties, and then you took these calls. So anything you did, most of us would have done sales at some point of time, whether we know it or not. Think deeper and see what is it that I helped someone sell something. Just a minute. So what is it that I helped someone say something, and put that in your resume, even if it's a very tiny thing. But if you didn't do anything, at least let the resume talk about your passion. Say why you like this role. Be honest that I do not have any experience, but I think I can do this good job because of these reasons, and make it sound non-cliche. Often I see people write the same words, that I'm very hardworking and I believe I'm the best suit for this role because I'll give my 100%. You may be true, but at least give some info, give some proof that you're hardworking. Give some data. Let's say I'm hardworking. I spend almost 70 hours per week when I get a project or on my college classes assignment because I love to work hard. So give more real data than giving cliche words in your resume. Often people might call you just for your passion, even if you have zero experience. So these are some of the things you could do if you're applying for a role where you have zero exposure on.
How should aspirants best market their skills and achievements in a more professional way?
Can you repeat the question?
How should aspirants best market their skills and achievements in a more professional way?
It's all about, I think, two things. A resume. Spend a lot of time on your resume. And in fact, I suggest to go for resume writing services. Probably they cost 500 rupees or so, but they really save you lakhs of rupees over time. There is a way to write resume. There's a way to present. There are certain industry standard ways. So spend a lot of time on that. If not, even spend some money on it for someone else to write for you. First thing. And secondly, communication. You'll be surprised to see when, people answering. Let's say I ask a question, right? Tell us tell us about a project you're most proud of. 40% of the world of the students have one word answer saying yes. That's it. Imagine what the other person would be thinking. I specifically asked, what is a project, anything that you're proud of? It was not a yes or no question. I didn't say, did you do any projects? I asked, tell us about a project. So often people really need to improve their listening skills, communication skills, and have the remove the fear of speaking. People, I think, often fear, if I say this, maybe they will feel this way. People actually appreciate you and look up to you, and you will have a higher chance of getting that job if you speak your mind, even if that's a negative thought. Let's say someone says, tell us about a project you're proud of. In your mind, you are thinking, oh, I didn't do any projects, or there's nothing in your life, or I didn't even ever get a chance to think about it. Maybe that's all running in your head. Say that out. That's the best answer you could give. Saying, sir, I didn't get a chance to really think of it, or I'm afraid to say that probably I didn't do anything much, but I want to do that. All that is very good communication. But instead, if you feel stuck, or if you just give one word answers, that's bad. So that's just an example of, so do be very good at your resume. And secondly, learn to communicate better, learn to listen better, learn to express those thoughts that often people shy away from expressing. But in fact, that shows your courage, that you're open to show your weaknesses, open to share your thoughts, though they are not though they're not perfect. So these are the only two suggestions I suggest to make yourself better at presenting.
What are the lesser known checkboxes that employers tick when evaluating aspirants?
Yeah, to rephrase the question, what do employers look for that most people are not aware of when screening candidates? I think the first thing is, again, resume. There are a lot of do's and don'ts for resumes. The main things that employees look for is how many internships have they done, how many projects they have done, and do I see passion in this resume? It could be either a small para you have written, or it could be the kinds of things you are trying to do. Or they also look for honesty, which means that, sir, I don't have a lot of exposure in these domains, but I'm applying for this job because of this. I think these are and then I think the well-known thing is GPA, CGPA. If you're above 8-pointer, they're considered automatically smart and you have an automatic advantage. But resume, projects, also the more extracurriculars you put, the better. Do I see passion in how this is being presented? And is there honesty in certain areas that they are willing to admit? So these are the 5 different things interviewers look for. And often, most of them spend literally 30 seconds figuring out whether they should go ahead with your candidate or not. Which means In your resume, it's very important to know how to highlight these. Sometimes people put resume that are 4 pages long. Best resumes are 1 or 1.5 page long. And often people have grammatical mistakes in their resume. That's considered immediate reject, because employers think if they can't even manage to write a good English, how will they manage to do a job? So if your English is not right, use Grammarly. Install it. It's a free software. It will correct your English naturally, or ask a resume writing service. And probably 70-80% of the times I see resumes that are bland. All it has is I studied in these colleges. These are my CGPAs. And I'm looking for a job in an esteemed organization to make you proud. And probably my date of birth, my gender, my father's name, all that stuff. No one cares about all of that except your probably phone number or email. So that's why I suggest to put a lot of time and thought into resume and even get professional help. Probably just costs 500 rupees, and some of them are even free. Or give it to your seniors and ask them to review it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, sir, for answering our questions. And this concludes the first episode of From the CEO's Desk.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching this. Hope students find this helpful. And there have been some noise in the background because I'm on my home. So ignore that. Actually, let me record that again. Daddy, no, the video on the shakle so let me tell the last thing again. Thanks, Shruti. Let me end the note with saying thanks everyone for watching this. Hope as a student you find this helpful. And in case you need any more questions or help, or need advice or insights, you can always email us. So my email is vamsee@happilyever.co, VAMSEE at happilyever. You should be able to see it below wherever this video is posted, happilyever.co. Thanks, guys, and hope you find the job of your dreams. Hope you find what job do you even like and explore various opportunities. Thank you.